put all my needles up out of work. When you put them all the way up like that, that's out of work position, and I'm going to do that all the way around. I always check and make sure my needles are open. Not that it really matters right now, but I'm prepared for later, after my heel is done. I'm doing the heel that Deb Oswald came up with, and I did change it a slight bit, but this is how I do it. We're going to start by bringing the needles from 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. We're going to bring them up out of work. Then we're going to put them back in work on the second half of the heel, and you'll see how that goes. I'll show you how that goes. So here we go. I'm going to do a couple of rounds without any weights in the front. You always bring the needle up out of work on the feeder side. So now my feeder's over here, and I'm going to bring this one up out of work. And you continue in that fashion until all the needles are up and your feeder is back on the right side at 3 o'clock. I never rush the heel. I go slow. I don't rush into the starting of the heel. I go slow and I feel it, and you're less apt to drop a stitch that way. Now you can see that this yarn is starting to ride up a little bit on this needle here, so I should add my weight. I use the V-hook, and I place it about an inch below your hash marks at 5 and 7 o'clock. When I pull down on it, I can see the material pull. Could you see that happen? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to release it. Now watch when I pull down. I'm going to see it pull, and it's nice and tight all the way around. That's telling me that I shouldn't have any problem doing the heel. You can use heel forks. This is just how I do it. Okay, so now I'm going to raise this needle up here, and I'm going to continue on my journey. Sometimes when you're doing a heel, the tension may seem too tight. Maybe you're not, the stitches are skipping, they're not knitting. If you're skipping stitches, you need to loosen your tension. Sock knitting machines like a loose tension when doing the heel. Now I'm getting way down here with my weight, so I'm just going to lift it up a little bit. Still coming about an inch below my 2. Replace that just a little bit. There. I'm about an inch below my hash mark at 5 and 7. This is my last needle that I'm going to pull up, and I'm going to knit back over to the right side. By doing this, I can keep track of where I am when I'm knitting my heel. When I get back to my right side, I should have the same amount of stitches up or down on each side. It should be the same. So I come back to right here at 3 o'clock. And the second half of the needle is done by pushing the needle down opposite the feeder. So I'm going to push this one down over here at 7 o'clock, and I'm going to knit across. And now I'm going to go back to the right. So when I get back to the right, I have 1 and 1 down. It's easier for me to keep track that way. Especially when the phone rings. When you come back to your machine, you don't know where you're at. while doing this, make sure your latches are always open. Sometimes it feels like it's a little hard. That's normal. I don't know, I just feel it going across. It feels, if it's a little tight, I work it in. I don't try to push my way through it, because I think you'll lose a stitch sometimes when you just try to push it through. I tell people I'm feeling my machine. I don't know how else to explain it. After you start making socks for a while, you'll feel how your machine feels. When you have one needle remaining in out of work position before your hash mark on the left side and 2 needles out of work at the hash mark on the right side at 3 o'clock, now you have completed your heel. So we're going to knit around to 6 o'clock. Now I take my heel spring off. I release my heel spring and I put all my needles back into work. And don't forget to make sure your latches are open. Now we're going to start cranking our foot. So we're going to put our row counter back to 0, and I do 55 total rows for my foot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit to row 50. I'm going to replace my needles in the empty slots on the back of the cylinder, knit 5 more rows and begin my toe. This is a good time when you see that your weights are a little bit low. Take your weights off and raise them up. And when you can get past your heel, it's a good time to do this. Put your weight up past the heel. Before we start our toe. I'm going to stop at 6 o'clock. I'm on row 50, and I'm going to replace the needles that need to be replaced, keeping them in the out of work position to remind me to transfer the neighboring stitch to the new needle. Another thing to remember is always go the same way. Try to be consistent in the way you're transferring. I always transfer from the right to the left. And if you do that, then you keep it in the memory bank. There's one. We're going into the heel, flip it over, heel, flip it over. I call this the heel of the previous stitch. There. Now, let's make sure our latches are open. And we're going to crank 5 more rows. I'm going to go to row 55.